Hi, I'm Zhenhao. I live in a small town in inland China. This town used to have tens of thousands of people. But as more and more people moved to the cities, the town became much quieter. These days, the streets are pretty empty during the daytime. This is a convenience store in town. To make a little extra money, the owner put some of the products outside. I have to admit, it works. Today I bought a piece of fresh tofu. This is a new ice cream shop. It's also the only ice cream shop in town. A lot of people think it won't stay open for long. There just aren't many kids left here. So whenever I see a new business open, I always hope it can make it. Six youtiao cost me just 90 cents. And they were still hot. No joke. That's what things cost in a small Chinese town. I've bought the exact same thing in big cities before. Sometimes they were even smaller, but cost twice as much. My wife's hometown is a rural area outside a big city. Even though both places are considered rural, they're completely different. The food is different too. Luckily, she's not picky at all. Now she enjoys the food here and life in the mountains. I know snacks aren't healthy. But I just can't say no when my kids look at me like that. Sorry kids, you win again. Most of these snacks cost between $1 and $3. There are so many different kinds. That's why kids love it here. The price is based on 500 grams. But if you just want to try something, you can buy a single piece. Of course, I still check the ingredients before buying anything for my kids.
这个草莓的。
我要这个草莓的，我要这个草莓。
Now it's our turn. Who doesn't like snacks? My grandma is 80 years old and still loves Coca-Cola. She always says, "When you're young, eat whatever you want." Probably not the best advice for kids, though. This place always makes me think of my grandma. My brother and I grew up here with her. Now I'm holding my own kids' hands. Just like she used to hold ours. These days, packages can finally be delivered right to our door. Before that, we had to come into town every time we wanted to pick one up. Online shopping in China is incredibly cheap. This towel cost me just 1 cent. I'm going to use it to clean the floor. This roll of toilet paper also cost 1 cent. It's hard to believe how cheap it is.
Bye.
哇，是我最喜欢的。
来。
滑龙道。
成功。
简单。
简单了吧？
简单的很。
第二关。
开始第二关。
第二关把它弄成这样子，然后再拼。怎么弄的？我们来。
哦，是这样，是空的。
来，弄这样子。
干嘛呀？
好好玩。
你是什么小偷啊？妈妈！
啊，怎么站在一起了？
妈妈，因为我看到别人，
你先找到那个吸铁丝，不是，你先这样一动一动，找到吸铁丝，把它吸住。你现在没吸住它。我给你找来，我给你找。
吸铁丝。
你先动着吧，找到那个吸铁丝，你控制它。控制好了。
好啊。你看小狗出来了。
你走得太快，你可以慢慢的控制它。
来，把你萝卜给小狗吃。
你现在没控制。好，慢一点，它就会跑得慢一点。能扭吧？
就摔倒了。
These packages are for my wife. She got them for 1 cent too. In China, everyday things are actually pretty cheap. At least compared to housing, cars, or luxury goods. That's one reason we're comfortable having 2 children. We've never bought a home in the city. For families like ours, housing is by far the biggest expense. I'd love to own a house someday. Who wouldn't? The problem is that I like houses with a yard. But homes like that are expensive and hard to find. Most people in China live in high-rise apartment buildings. There aren't many other options. This scene feels very familiar to me. When I was a kid, I often worked in the fields with the adults. Back then, I thought I'd never do this again once I grew up. But here I am. After all these years, I'm still seeing it. That's why I wanted to film it today. Maybe one day scenes like this will disappear. But at least today, I was able to record it.